like to thank Legal Aid. It's an honour to be here. I'd also like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land upon which we meet and pay my respects to elders past and present. Can I ask, how many people here are lawyers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, you're not allowed to, 5. You're not allowed to answer any questions. For everyone else in the room, do you work as case managers, or do you work in admin or support in some form at a community legal centre or a community service centre? Okay. Have you done any law? Have you studied law at all? Okay, we have one person who studied law. How many units of law have you done?
I've just completed my degree, so I'm training to be assistant.
So you're not admitted yet?
Not admitted yet.
Okay, fantastic. So Greg versus Greg rings a bell? Should. Okay. So in short, the community, it should if you want to be admitted. Community workers, so your case managers, you can provide, you have a different skill set. I suppose the lawyers would have some of these skills in common with you, but you're well versed in assessment, case management, support advocacy, conflict management, both with other parties to a dispute and often with your own staff, dispute resolution, customer and business relationship management, and you have to employ creative approaches to finding solutions for your clients, but you're not lawyers. So in my experience in the past, when I've worked with people and I tend to come across legal issues, I'd sort of kick them under the carpet because they weren't issues that I felt comfortable dealing with or I wasn't able to deal with. So in those cases, it's good to know that there is someone that you can refer to. It'd be very handy if you are also able to provide an informed referral. So we can go to the next one. We've just completed a QCOSS, or in the process of completing something called the Home for Good campaign. It's based on the 100,000 Lives, 100,000 Homes campaign in the US and the 500 Lives and 50 Lives, 50 Homes campaigns in Brisbane. We use a survey tool that helps us assess a number of factors, mostly around people's housing, homelessness, health, mental health, drug and alcohol histories. But we also have been asking questions about people's interactions with the legal system. So we've interviewed 3,000 people so far across the state, and given the sample size, the answers that we're getting should be fairly consistent with the sort of issues that your clients are experiencing. So we were asking them about police interactions, stays in the watch house, debts, Centrelink breaches, child safety involvement, debt, I think. And I won't take up a great deal of time. But to give you an overview, a brief overview, we found that 1 in 4 singles and 1 in 6 family members have been to prison. So if you were to think about the possible consequences there, you'd probably be looking at some probation conditions, restitution orders that may be in place that may not be being followed. You could be looking at suspended sentences, people on community release, and whether you need to access special circumstance courts. Do they exist anymore?
No, but there is a government commitment to reintroduce the divestment.
Yes, including the drug court.
Including, yes. Maybe not in the same.
Yep. Almost half have been to the watch house. So if someone has been locked up, and many people have quite often, do they have fines outstanding? Are there charges that are pending? Do they have debts accruing from unpaid fines? Are there outstanding community service orders? Now, these are things, when you're managing a client, these are things that can impact upon their ability to stabilise in the long term, especially if you don't know about it, and all of a sudden things are going along well, and then you're broadsided. So almost a third of families owe money. So how do you deal with them? Do you negotiate with payday lenders? Or should you be referring out to someone who does that as part of their core business? Okay, how do you treat loan sharks? What's your relationship like with Spur? What's your conversion rate? What's your batting average like for conversions, fine conversions? Okay, do you deal with real estate agencies? There is a commitment, again, to restore tenancy support services. It's another referral pathway. Hopefully that will be opening up again. Okay, almost 1 in 9 people had experienced involuntary mental health hospitalisations. So 1 in 9 people have been committed against their will. There'll be consequences there. So how do you deal with an involuntary treatment order or a forensic treatment order? And do you know the difference? What do you do if the court has decided that ECT is the best way to coax informed consent from one of your clients? Those things are probably a little too complex for community workers to deal with. Centrelink. Lots and lots of Centrelink breaches. How do you work with the Centrelink? Do you know what you need to do in order to provide the correct level of consent to even discuss a person's file or case history with Centrelink? 1 in 5 report ongoing legal stuff. And I don't know about you, but as a support worker, if someone tells me they have legal stuff going on, I don't want to know about it. It's going to be something that I'm just going to pretend I didn't. Well, I'll put it in the too hard basket. Because it's really not within my remit to deal with people's legal issues unless I can get them a referral to legal aid. Family court, high incidence of family court issues. Again, you might be better off referring to someone who is skilled at dealing with family court issues. So, what you'll find out about today, and I don't want to preempt your business here, but the legal health checks are customised across 5 areas. So you've got a general intake and assessment form. You have one that's tailored for youth. You have new arrivals, which deal with asylum seekers, refugees. You have a housing and homelessness legal health check, and you have a mental health check. So again, you can narrow down the option that you need to use in your practice. And most of all, have a look at the tool. How many people have seen the legal health checks thus far? Okay, would you agree that they're... Your name is?
She doesn't count, she's a lawyer.
Yeah, you're not allowed to raise your hand. That's all right. Look, they're user-friendly. They're very, very easy to use. I think they're also very easy for your clients to work through with you. They can help you identify what the issues are and where you need to refer to and who's best placed to deal with those issues. And I think, in short, if you don't ask the right questions, you're probably not going to get the right answers. These health checks provide the correct questions to ask. And they make your life very simple. So, I thank you very much. I hope that you enjoy the day, and we'll see you again at 12:30.